You've made lots of friends in the beading community. You were
Mm.
welcomed into the professional beading community right away.
Yeah.
Your talents and your expertise were recognized right away. So we're just going to look at a few images to situate you within the larger community. And many viewers of this video will recognize a lot of the people here. Like for
Mm.
on the left, we have Sabine Lippert, and she's from Germany. I think, is she from Bonn, the Bonn area? I can't remember.
Yeah, yeah, Bon
Something
area.
like that, probably. And Sabine has a beautiful website. It's called trytobead.com,
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that, right?
yeah.
You guys clearly became very fast friends. And this is at Bead and Button in 2013. So that's already 12 years ago. And on the right, Marcia DeCoster.
Mm.
Same year, right?
Yeah, that was the same year. I think that was the second time I went to Beading Button.
Okay.
Yeah, if memory serves, yeah, I started there in 2012, so this would be my second year there.
Okay. And a
Yeah.
quick look at Bead and Button, a commemorative photo from 2014, a group photo of all sorts of really well-known instructors.
Mm.
And you are sitting where? Oh, you're sitting in the front right, on the right-hand side with a blue lanyard, a blue ribbon around your
Yeah,
neck. Your name.
yeah. Yeah, that was I'd have to say that was about the peak of Beaten Button, right around that time, and it was just so cool to be able to see so many people in our community, and grab a drink at the bar and have fun and just have such a blast together. And I miss that energy so much. I miss that show.
Yeah, it hasn't been the same since Bead and Button closed.
Yeah, yeah.
And here we have you kneeling before a sign showing your work, your designs,
Mm.
the rose blossom pendants on this giant lighted up sign. That must have been such a good feeling.
It was a good feeling, and it was kind of a relief also because I mean I do all my own photography, and I always say everybody can always improve their photos. So it's another one of those things that's a practice rather than something that you hit and then you're there.
Mhm.
But I was like, oh, good. They thought my photos were good enough to blow up and put on this big poster. So
Yes, they did. And those are beautiful pieces. Are those on your website?
yeah, I have the pattern for that on my website now. So those
Okay.
are.
I'm sure people will be very interested. Here you are. Oh, in 2012. So this slide is out of order. I apologize. I don't know why. But here you are with Gwen Fisher and Florence Turner in 2012. What was that?
Yeah. Oh, that was so cool because when I first started beading, I mean, I was into origami. I started getting some beads. A very good family friend of mine named Sandy Hilton, she has a bead business. I don't know if she still has it or not, but she would go to shows and sell primarily vintage check glass beads. And one day she was doing a show near where I was, and she needed some extra help on a weekend. It's like, hey, this is close to you. I can give you some beads and pay you in both cash and beads. I was like, yeah, sure, cool, fun. And so now I'm like, okay, what do I do with these beads? Well, I like geometric origami. I wonder if there's such a thing as geometric beadwork. So I punched that in, and Laura Shea's work came up, Chris Pressing, and of course Gwen and Florence, and I was just like, this is all so cool. And then the rest is history. So when I started participating in the online communities and posting my work, it was actually Gwen that reached out to me, and she's like, "Hey, your work's awesome. You need to be, doing all this stuff in order to get your work out there to, to build yourself in the business type of way." And they really were just so cool in terms of their mentorship when I was first getting started, and I was still in grad school at the time. So yeah,
So you were
I
beading while you were finishing your PhD.
yeah, yeah.
And then how did you decide to switch in from your PhD, your academic work, over into beadwork? How did that come about?
Yeah, so got my PhD in 2010, and I transitioned into a job at UC Davis at a mass spectrometry core facility there. And it was a cool position because we ran samples from labs all over campus. They're like, okay, we've made this molecule. Can you run this sample, make sure that it is what we think it is? And we'll run it, be like, yes or no, things like that. But it also had a very academic and educational approach because labs could have some of their students trained on the instruments that we used. So we also did training for them in consultation with their projects. So I got to do a little of all of that again right after I graduated. Um, but it's funny though, I had always meant to take a little bit of time off after getting my PhD, but just because of the way the job lined up, I pretty much turned in my thesis on Friday and then started the lab on Monday. So it was what it was. So it was about a year, less than a year later, my husband got his job here in San Diego. He's a classical musician. He plays the French horn. And so he won an audition here in the symphony. And so then while he was getting tenure in the symphony, I stayed in my job in Davis and then eventually joined him down here in 2012. And I thought, okay, this is a good time to take a little time, in this transition period. And, eventually I'll look for a academic or an industry job in science. And gosh, that was 13 years ago. And I just am still beating it. And it's not that I don't like science. It's just that I just wanted to do this and I've kept doing it. And that's just how it ended up.
And you have a very large following. There are a lot of beaders who just love what you offer. And so it's kind of natural that you would stick with us. Now, here we
Yeah.
are at Bead Button in 2019,
Mhm.
and you're right in the front here with a lot of teachers. Can you just name just a few of the teachers that we're seeing here?
Oh gosh, well, Betty Stefan's on the side over there. She does some amazing bead embroidery, and she's so fun to be around. Sherry Serafini needs no introduction. Got Jay and I think Miriam and Tracy are behind me. If I'm
Miriam who? Tracy who?
Miriam Shimon and then Tracy Stanley.
Okay.
Um, yeah. And Nancy Kane's behind me.
Okay.
Melissa Gurkowski. Oh, Melissa's so fun.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to all of them. And
Yeah.
here we are with, wait, did I miss somebody here? No.
Well, who else do we got?
No,
There's Becky,
I think we're
Haley.
good. And here we have you with Nancy Kane, Betty Stephen, and Heather Kingsley Heath. You got together in Boulder, Colorado. I mean, not at Bead and Button, but just together to have fun. What did you do?
Yeah, the year before, a bunch of us took Sherry Serafini's class. She had this amazing 3-day class on doing bags, like bead embroidery on bags. And a bunch of us decided that to just go to one of these classes.